What's up, everyone? Today, while I take all this stuff apart, I'll explain what happened. One, this, I don't know, horse tailing, I think it's called. At least that's what I'm calling it, occurred. So that's going to need to be replaced. Then, this motor has a total of, maybe a quarter of an ounce of oil in it. And the person's using it noticed something was wrong and decided to keep running. Motor's now blown. So what we are going to do today is we're going to be replacing this blown motor with a non-blown motor, except the non-blown motor so that's my train of thought on that one. The non-blown motor is also a Briggs and Stratton. I think it should be the same, 6 3/4. So the only thing is that it's a little bit older, and I mean they're not necessarily any different, but you know you have your problems when it comes down to older. Seems to be okay. And if not, there's another one that just seems like it would be a whole lot more work, and if it's the same engine, we might as well. But another thing about the other one is that it doesn't have the auto choke system on it. Well, that's not necessary. Obviously, I do want to save this and put it on there. So, what we're going to do is take the auto choke system off and how much gas is in here? And put it on another one. In essence, we'll be converting it. That's plumb full. Great. Let's see here. Let's take this off. Not horrible, but still replace it. Let's put all the little bits in here. A lot of people don't like the auto choke. I don't mind it. It has its problems, don't get me wrong. But oh, this one doesn't have it, okay. I just like it. I like it a lot better than the priming. One, it's easier. Two, priming also has its problems. Ladybug flying on me. If your carburetor gasket ever gets damaged, or the gasket on it from in between a carburetor and air cleaner ever gets damaged, that's a problem. You're not going to be able to run. If your bowl seal becomes old and brittle and starts cracking or anything, that becomes a problem. Primer bulb getting old and brittle and cracking, that becomes a problem. So we have a whole bunch of problems with rubber and paper pieces with that. This, you have your problems. The little arm is your main problem, but I prefer to have that problem than the others. That's just my opinion. Consequently, it is definitely more expensive to replace the auto choke system, and the spring could also go bad on the auto choke. out their problems, I suppose, is the key to the story. I've had an auto choke in mine for like the last 5 years. Never had a problem. And I want to say, out of all the times that I've had to repair Briggs, maybe 2, 3, maybe 4 times, it's been with the auto choke system itself. I think there we go. I think the piece on the crank that was broken, or the rod, I mean, was broken, was in there. So, what do we need to keep? We're going to need to keep this carburetor. Because the carburetor on these is different than the other one. And I'm sure the other one's going to need to be cleaned anyway, so. This one was running, according to the story, last week. So, it should be fine. I'm going to put this somewhere so it doesn't leak. Next, we have, take this cover. Excuse me. Oh, looks like we have a crispy snail. I guess technically they're all crispy. So we're going to want to keep this. This is the piece we're going to want because it has a little notch here. This we're going to need to keep as well. This one we don't need to keep for this purpose at least, but I want to keep it for other purposes and then take the coil off. These coils are very useful. And this screw. Too bad. This looks pretty clean. I'm pretty sure the other one's not going to be nearly this clean. But, what can you say? It's technically all we need. Oh, now we need to get the arm. Okay. 5/16. Oh, of course, it's an oversight. I don't think I really want to keep that, to be honest. usually, I would say be careful with this part because these like to break because it just needs going through hot and cold in an extreme. So they get a little brittle. The muffler is actually pretty decent, so we'll keep that too. This is it. Okay, now that we have all that off, what I'm going to do next is I'm going to take the blade off and take a puller. If it doesn't come off freely, I'm going to take the pulley off on the crank. That way it can be the same on both engines. Well, this one's going to go on the other engine, that way the self-propel system is appropriate. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to tip it off to the side. It doesn't have any oil. Everything should be good to go after that to take it off. Just 3 bolts on the bottom. And that should be about it. So next time I'm going to, you'll see this, I'm going to have the other engine on it. And we're going to go over some of the differences and take it from there. Okay. So it's literally the next day. I don't even know where I left off, to be honest, because let me go over the story. Took the motor off the one I was going to put on here, the other one. Every single one of the bolts that hold it in place snapped. Every single one. You can drill those out, so that's not the end of the world. That's just a whole lot of work. So then I went to another motor that I had. We have a Spider, likes to do a little bit of webbing. Looked at that one, and the shaft size was different. Okay, so now this one had the right shaft size, and I put everything back together. So now what we need to do is we need to take the parts that we need to convert this into an auto choke. And do that. In the meantime, I did change the pull cord on the recoil. So, let's see here. The only bad thing about this is I have no idea the condition of this engine. I know that when I put it away, I believe it's one that I remember working. But the deck itself is the problem. But that was quite some time ago. So we're gonna find out here soon. I have really no reason to think it's not capable of running. Just not 100% sure. Clean, that's good. I guess I would really have no reason to think otherwise. So we're going to take off this carb. Carb is going to be different. The looks of it's been cleaned. Any gas in it? No gas. That's good. Are you still seeing this? Okay, good. First step is to put the exhaust mechanism that moves with the heat of the exhaust. Another one, I didn't really care if it broke off, but this one I do, so. The exception of where did I put it? If it goes the right direction. You're nice and secure. And like I said, you don't want to tempt fate and torque those down too much. These little flaps are there so the bolts, but when they get hot, they might expand or whatnot, and it might start to loosen itself. So those are there to kind of prevent that from happening. This motor does not have a tapped hole for the guard. But does it have a tapped hole in here either? No, so I'm not going to put the guard on. I'm not too worried about that. Next, tank and carburetor. Actually, no, I was wrong. This goes on next. No, I'm still wrong. We want to put... Where is it? This in the general location of where it needs to be. And then we put the cover on. With the exception of the year, this is a year older, or 2 years older actually, I think. It's actually fairly recent, fairly close in age. These are identical motors, 6 3/4. Obviously the differences are that this one was originally an auto choke, or if the other one was. But same power, same everything. The plate right there is not going to match, but if that's the worst thing that's going to happen, I'm okay with that. And even then, if someone needed to order parts for this and they looked up that engine code, it still would give them the correct part. be for the carburetor in the tank. The tank being on the carburetor makes this a little more difficult, but it's not bad. There's also a metal flap right here. You want to make sure that fits in there properly. Otherwise, when you turn or when you pull the motor over, the magnet for the flywheel will hit it, and you'll get a clank clank. And you'll be sitting there. What did I mess up? Now, we need to take a couple of these pieces we took off the other motor. That's the spring, which we probably won't need, but just in case. Because that one's there and it looks pretty decent. I just realized something. I need a little cover in there. I'll be right back. So this little metal piece, what I'm talking about, I'm going to take that off and get a new one out, the other one back on there, because this one doesn't have this little top for the choke spring. Okay, so that's on there now. Spring works, auto choke works. Should be fine. Okay, go ahead and put it back together and bring everyone back. Okay, so for all of the moment of truth, put the cover on. I put the cable on. Now all I need to do is I'm going to put this auto light plug in there. It's the same thing as a J19LM. For whatever reason, my local store stopped carrying Champion, and because of COVID, it looks like spark plugs are not an essential item, so it's going to take like 2 weeks for me for whatever reason. Well, individual ones would take a lot less time, but I'm not going to spend like $5 on one or $5 on one when I can get like 10 of them for like 30. Okay, so plugs on. Make sure that this has oil in it before we continue. Man, that'd be irony right there. Yeah, good thing we checked. It is low. Of course, it has been on its side for a very long time. It says 1040, but it's actually 1030. I just reuse that because I buy the 5-quart containers and it's a lot easier to pour from the 1 quart than the 5 quart. There we go. Perfect. Okay, so oil's good, plug's good, new air filter. Let's take this and pull it up here. Double check the blade real quick. Okay, good. attached. Got something in my sample. I think that might be the problem. I'm going to reattach that spring. Okay, tip number 2. Somehow I must have forgot to connect the throttle spring, not the choke. Okay, well, there you go. I'm going to take off the cover and then clean that out for the self-propel. Call it good. Everything should be good to go now. Well, if you like what you see, definitely like, subscribe, and subscribe. Keep on watching. I'll see everyone later. Bye.